What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Upper Tier Podcast, a little extension of your Pro Wrestling Weekly, and this is NXT. First of all, welcome back to everyone. It has been a few weeks, and a long few weeks it has been. Life got ahead of me and I couldn't get much videos done, but never fear, we are back. Last night we had NXT's PLE New Year's Evil, and what a card it was, and what a show it was. Some staple moments that we will definitely be talking about for the next few months without a doubt, especially with it coming into WrestleMania season, and we will get into that in just a bit. Let's get into it. First of all, starting off tonight, we were going to have Blake Monroe and Thea Hale in a rematch for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Obviously, Thea picked up the title in a completely unexpected win, a completely unscripted win. Nobody knew this was going to happen. This was completely by accident, but a happy accident it was. As big of a fan of Blake Monroe as I am, I still thought it was really cool for Thea Hale to win the title. But bringing it up to last night at New Year's Evil, Thea Hale was making her way out to the ring when Blake Monroe snuck up behind her and attacked her, leaving what looked to be an injured Thea Hale sitting just beside the barricade, and the match would not happen or go forward. Then Ricky Saints music hits. Ricky comes out and cuts a promo saying how this is going to be the year of Ricky Saints and everyone in the locker room should watch their backs. I don't know how I kind of feel about Ricky Saints. I feel like they are going to put the title back on him, which I don't really want to happen. As I said, I've talked about it week in and week out, that WWE have got into too much of a habit of putting the title back on former champions within a few months, and it's nothing new, it's nothing fresh. Look, if it happens, it happens. I won't be too angry over it, but yeah. Then after that, of course, we got our grudge match between Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley, and what a match this was. I thought it was brilliant. Tatum Paxley obviously being a former NXT Women's Champion, and sadly the shortest reigning NXT Women's Champion in history. And God, it was so sad when she lost the title. I was absolutely devastated. But last night's match was absolutely brilliant. Izzy Dame has been an absolute standout in the NXT Women's division for the past few months. I've said it time and time again, and if you haven't heard me say it before, I'm saying it now so you can quote me on it. I actually would put her down as one of the pillars of NXT currently. I think her work has been phenomenal. And yeah, just brilliant match overall, and a great ending to the storyline that they had going on in NXT. Next up, we had Jacy Jayne versus the Evolve Women's Champion Kendall Gray for the NXT Women's Championship. Do you know, when they first put the title back on Jacy, I didn't know how I felt about it. I was like, okay, she's getting a second reign, you know, there's nothing too special about it, you know, it is what it is. But what a reign it has been. Obviously when Jacy Jayne first became NXT Women's Champion the first time, everyone thought it was going to be terrible. Everyone thought she was a paper champion. Everyone thought, oh, you know, she's just transitional. She'll drop the title next week or she'll drop it the week after. And that just wasn't the case. She completely proved everyone wrong. And To be honest, I actually think she's had one of the best NXT women's title reigns in a long time. Definitely up there with Roxanne Perez's reign last year or the year before. Um, Phenomenal stuff. And obviously it was announced last night that NXT call-ups would be made, so wrestlers from Evolve would be called up to NXT. And obviously with Kendall being the Evolve Women's Champion and being a familiar face on NXT the past few weeks, I'm actually praying she gets called up. I think she would be absolutely phenomenal on the NXT women's roster and an absolutely amazing addition. Overall, brilliant match. I kind of seen the ending coming from a mile away. I knew Fallon Henley or Lainey Reed would get involved, and that is exactly what happened. And that caused JC Jane to retain. So yeah, look, we get JC as champion for another while longer. I don't know how that's going to work though, considering JC's name has been circulated in rumours for a main roster call up the past while. So yeah, guess we'll just have to see how that works out. Next up, Thea Hale, back to good old Thea Hale, our now former Women's North American champion. There was a segment in the back where she was in medical and Jordan Grace and Ava were talking with her, and she said she wants to defend her title. Ava said, that's not going to happen. I may or may not have kicked Blake Monroe out of the building for attacking you, so I can't just let her back in and give her the title match and reward bad behavior, which we completely forget. We completely get, shit happens. We can't go around rewarding bad behavior. That's just not how things work, and we get that. But yeah, so Thea Hale said that she was going to bring back the open challenge. So she came out to the ring and said that whoever makes it to the ring first gets the match. Obviously, as expected, the whole NXT women's locker room absolutely poured out and came rushing towards the ring. And I love the way they parted like the Red Sea, and Tatum Paxley came running out with a chainsaw, but sadly did not make it to the ring in time. But who got the open challenge? Izzy Dame, which was absolutely brilliant. I was very happy about this. So she was in the ring first and got the title match, and that was also a brilliant match. Izzy Dame then defeating Thea Hale to become the new NXT Women's North American Champion. What a workhorse. Like I said it just a bit ago, that I would consider her as one of the pillars of NXT, and that last night she proved she was, not working one match but two matches, and that's not easily done. So definitely a huge shout out and big props to Izzy Dame, and congratulations on becoming the new Women's North American Champion. Finally, folks, to the moment that everyone's been talking about for the past 24 hours, and that is our main event, Oba Femi versus TNA's X Division champion Leon Slater for the NXT Championship. Without a doubt, my favourite match of the night. I'm a massive fan of Leon on TNA. He's probably my favourite wrestler in TNA at the moment. And if you haven't seen my interview with him, scroll back on the channel and give it a watch. He was an absolutely amazing person to interview, and hopefully I'll get to do it again someday soon. What a match. Seriously, what a match. It was strength versus speed, and strength won, sadly. Obafemi retained the title after a brutal match, physically brutal match. It was an incredible match, but both men left with sore bones and sore bodies after that match, without a doubt. After this match happened, then of course it cut to the back in Ava's office, where Ava said that there would be call-ups coming to NXT from Evolve. Robert Stone then came bursting into the office and said, "Did you see what Obafemi did?" We cut back to the ring, and the NXT title is just sitting there in the ring with Ova's side plates on them. What a moment. I'm nearly lost for words. It's so hard to explain the feeling of how cool it was. Usually WWE would have just did the draft, like if they had their NXT champion, they'd say such and such is called up to the main roster, and then they'd have to vacate the title. That was alright. That was mid. It was cool, but it was okay. What they did last night was absolutely perfect. Beautiful storytelling at its finest. No explanation, no nothing, just left the title in the ring and walked out, and I thought that was absolutely beautiful. It was then announced on Twitter this evening by NXT that Obafemi had officially vacated the NXT Championship, which proves the rumours that he is being called up to the main roster. Obviously with his appearance on SmackDown, I presume he has been signed to SmackDown, but we will hopefully see in the next week or two. What a show. As I said, Deadline to me was probably the top PLE of the year. Scratch that. New Year's Evil and Deadline both share the number one spot. Absolutely incredible show. And to be honest, I'm excited for Tuesday. I'm excited to see the fallout of New Year's Evil at its finest, and we will hopefully find out what the story is on crowning a new NXT champion. Folks, thank you so much. I have went on and on and on for God knows how long at this point. It's been that long, but you have stuck around to the very end to listen to me. Thank you so much. We will hopefully be back next week with a review of NXT to find out all the news regarding the NXT Championship. Folks, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, get subscribed now. It takes 2 seconds. It's not that hard. I beg you, please subscribe. Thank you very much. That is your chef's kiss for the week.